Seattle's Belltown Hellcat. This is the kid that runs around with his Hellcat and just has ridiculously loud exhaust, and he's just basically driving people crazy in Seattle. He was arrested in a Seattle court hearing and banned from Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, you cannot post there anymore, son. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Once again wearing a head wrap that completely covered his face, Miles Hudson sat in court holding up his cell phone as he waited for his case to start. Two police officers told the prosecutor that Hudson was taking video and posting it to the internet.
Mr. Hudson has been filming the courtroom on his cell phone, dangling his car keys in front of it and apparently uploading that footage.
The judge ordered Hudson to delete the posts and then took up his case on a stalking incident involving an ex-girlfriend. The prosecutor asked for Hudson to be held in jail until he posts bail.
He poses a pretty significant risk to both the victim in this case as well as, I believe, the community at large based on his behavior here.
Hudson gained notoriety through his Instagram post showing him speeding down city streets in his Dodge Charger Hellcat. He faces separate charges for reckless driving, and the judge ordered him to be taken into custody until he posts $7,500 in bail for both the DV and driving charges.
The court does not believe that there's any conditions of release they can set short of bail that you're going to comply with.
Aside from being booked in jail, Hudson must also have no contact with his ex-girlfriend. He is also prohibited from driving the Hellcat on city streets and can no longer post to his Instagram and Twitch accounts.
There's a clear nexus of your alleged criminal activity and your social media presence.
A woman who lives in Hudson's apartment building says she's seen the car in the garage and hopes these cases are quickly resolved.
But those are some hefty allegations. I'm hoping some action is taken soon, just for the safety of everyone as well.
So this kid, he's just running around Seattle. He's got a revenge porn charge. He has a domestic violence charge with his mom. Told his mom to make him something to eat or something to drink. She didn't. I think he threw her down or hit her. Just some ridiculous thing. He's got the Hellcat, which his mom purchased. And now he's basically saying, well, I got other people working on my social media accounts. They might post for me. And the judge that we saw, he came right out and said, these are the terms that I'm setting out for you, Mr. Hudson. You are not to post on social media. And the kid, the Hellcat, Belltown Hellcat, he said, but other people have access to my social media. Yeah, well, you got to work that out. And the judge basically told that to him and said, hey, you can't post. Now, what's super interesting about this case is that it's a $7,500 bond, right? So basically 10%, $750, roughly. Math, right? And as far as I know, the kid's still in jail. So he doesn't have the money. He's talking about, he was brushing off, he was just flicking off the $3,000 in fines that a Seattle judge gave him, saying, maybe I'll pay it, I'll work on it. And he can't get out of jail on $750 worth of bond money. Yeah. So you got something crazy going on here. He's got 750,000 followers on Instagram for driving his car real fast and real loud throughout the streets of Seattle. What a knucklehead. So-called Belltown Hellcat. And the reason it's Belltown is Belltown neighborhood of Seattle. It's kind of north and just basically north of the Blade by a few blocks. So it's a high-rise area, a lot of condos. And this kid literally told people, if you're below the 15th floor, you need to get your money together and you need to live further up on the condo so the sound of my car isn't quite so loud to you. That's what he said. And he said he does not care about your pets, does not care about your children, could give a crap less. Sounds like a 20-year-old with a Hellcat, right? Miles Hudson is the man accused of revving his engine loudly in the middle of the night through the streets of Belltown, waking up his neighbors. What good does that do? So you got a bunch of people on Instagram. They're like, wake up all the old people and people trying to go to work and people with families. That's the greatest thing ever. God bless America. It's like, no, be reasonable. What's wrong with you? Hudson's hearing was about a bench warrant in another case that he's seeking to have thrown out involving stalking and harassment charges. He's also scheduled for a pretrial hearing on 2 counts of reckless driving, but that case was continued until August 12th. Hudson showed up wearing a full headgear again that completely disguised his face. He had a hearing not long ago where he did this same thing. And he's claiming that the headpiece is, it's a religious headpiece. Okay. All right. Making a total mockery of the court system. It's religious reasons. He shows up as a ninja. He literally shows up as a ninja. He's like got a ninja outfit on. Okay, whatever. I mean, kind of like this outfit right here. And there's his car. So mommy buys him the car. He racks up an incredible amount of fines. He's got this Instagram account. He's got this Twitch account where he's streaming and he's making money, but he can't get out of jail. What's up with that? On $750, essentially money that he'd need to get out? Something doesn't ring true here. Hudson showed up wearing a full head covering again that completely disguised his face, a tactic that he has used at other court appearances. While waiting for his case to be called, Hudson could be seen holding up his cell phone and appeared to be taking video of the proceedings. That is not smart. You're in court for exactly violating the judge's rulings, and now you're going to piss him off. You know, what are you thinking here? What are you thinking? Two police officers sitting next to him notified the prosecutor, who then brought it to the attention of the judge. So he's had court cases before where he's worn the headgear and he basically turned off his camera. It was one of those video in hearings. He had his camera turned off till the prosecutor said, "Hey, where's Mr. Hudson?" And then Mr. Hudson shows up with his, religious garb on. And he basically claims that he wants a fair court hearing. And he is wearing all this stuff, basically obstructing his identity. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to get anywhere with judges on that. But, you can always try. I want to inform the court that I've been made aware by the two officers who are here today that Mr. Hudson's been filming the courtroom on his cell phone. Again, not reasonable. 20-year-old making bad choices, just not all engaged with reality, and dangling his car keys in front of it and apparently uploading that footage. Seattle City Prosecutor Christopher Carr. Magistrate Judge Seth Neeson, he ordered Hudson to delete the posts. You can take them down now. Then took up the stalking case involving an ex-girlfriend of Hudson. Additionally, he's charged with disclosing intimate images with consent for a lewd video Hudson accused of sending to a former boyfriend of his ex-girlfriend. So he's got revenge porn going. He's got video of his ex-girlfriend of her having sex with somebody, and he's sending it to her ex-boyfriend. Yeah. And driving the Hellcat real fast through Seattle. Real bad exhaust. Hudson pleaded not guilty to a stalking charge and disclosure of intimate images. Magistrate Judge Seth Neeson issued a $5,000 and a $2,500 bail for his reckless driving charge. Neeson also ruled that he is not allowed to post or stream any content on Instagram or Twitch. No can do. Neeson ordered him to be taken into custody until he posts bail. Good. Finally, some accountability in Seattle. Got $83,000 in fines out there. When's the last time you racked up $83,000 in fines? You know what I mean? This is just, it's not reasonable. This kid is just playing outside the law, and it's time that he pay his dues. Hudson's also prohibited from driving the Dodge Charger Hellcat SRT on public roadways. If he wants to take it to the racetrack, the judge said, all good for you, but you can't post anything on the interweb, on your Instagram, on your Twitch. The other obvious problem that the court seems to run into is the use of this Hellcat on the city streets. It's tied to these alleged crimes and the social media presence, which seems to be kind of the core of all these alleged criminal activity, because he's doing it for the views. He's doing it for the gram. Yeah. You're not to operate that Hellcat with that VIN number on any public roadway in the state of Washington. If you want to take it to the track, that's fine. You can have it towed to the track, but you shall not operate the Hellcat on any public roadway in the state of Washington. Well, if you can't post $750 to take care of your $7,500 in bail, then you're probably not going to be paying to take it to the track. And you've already got the $83,000 in fines, which I'm sure are more than that now, with late fees and all that good stuff, right? So you shouldn't be paying a tow truck driver to take your ridiculous vehicle to the racetrack so you can go, look at how loud my car is. Last week, Hudson wore a mask in court, and when the judge told him to remove it, he refused, claiming it was part of his religion. Yeah. Seattle City prosecutor described the behavior in court last week as a mockery. Instead of appearing in person, Hudson patched through on a video link, but kept his camera turned off until Assistant City Attorney James Kenney objected. This kid he at every single turn, he does whatever he wants. And finally, a judge has said, no, here's the deal. I'm going to assign some guidelines for how we're going to proceed from here moving forward. No more video gets posted. No more posts on your accounts. None of that. Don't drive your car on the streets of Seattle. This kid has also said, yeah, other people have access to my car. Other people have access to my Instagram account, my Twitch account. It's like, well, figure it out. Fix it. Fix the car so you can drive it legally. Pay your fines. If you want to post ridiculous videos, that's fine, but just don't break the law in what you're doing. Unfortunately, his content is basically, relegated to breaking the law. It's noise ordinance, just ridiculously loud. Anybody who's been in Seattle that lives close to Belltown has heard this car at one time or another. I've asked a number of folks, kids that, they're 30 in their early 30s that live in Seattle. Hey, have you heard that? And you heard the Belltown Hellcat? Oh yeah, I think so. It's pretty loud. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You can hear it from a long way off. It's got a exhaust system that has that backfire, and it sounds like gunshots. That's what you need to hear at like 2:00 in the morning, right? What is this kid doing with his life? I mean, he's claiming that he is a social media influencer, but if you can't get out of jail, what do you got going on there? Yeah. Plus, when your social media account is basically based on breaking the law, that's not going to work out well in the long term. It just goes to show kids will watch anything. People into cars. All right. Yeah. So you got a Hellcat. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, that's really cool. I mean, look at this car. It looks like a striped zebra or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, is that what we're deeming to be cool now? With a real loud exhaust? Is that what we're saying is cool? Okay. All right. I mean, not really my drill, but whatever floats your boat, right? Whatever floats your boat. So when Hudson did turn his camera on, he was wearing a balaclava style ski mask and dark sunglasses. He's got that whole identity thing. We don't know what he looks like, right? I mean, we do from the Instagram, but in court, he's the whole thing, which is, here's me driving my car real fast. Here's me pictures of me talking. Here's me video talking about don't really care about your little sleep issue at 2:00 in the morning when my car wakes you up. Don't really care. You can't get your kids back to sleep. Don't really care that your dog is barking because I'm just, breaking, all kinds of noise ordinances by running my car around at 107 miles an hour throughout the streets of Seattle. In addition to the stalking and harassment, Hudson was also charged with 2 counts of reckless driving and was ordered to pay $83,000 in fines for noise violations created by his modified muscle car. Do we even consider that a muscle car? I don't think so. I mean, you want to talk about an old school Dodge? Yeah, maybe. But these new ones, I mean, they're all fiberglass, and you might say that Corvette's fiberglass too, but you know what I'm saying. These new cars, yeah, that's not a muscle car. A muscle car is a 68 Charger. It's not one of these things that Mr. Hudson is driving here. So finally, we've got some accountability in Seattle. But see what it took? It took numerous news stories. It took all kinds of people complaining. It took this kid just at every step of the way challenging the court system, coming up with his ridiculous disguises. His mom saying, we're working on it, working on getting the exhaust fixed. It's like, okay. And now he's got videos with other people driving the car. And that's why the judge said, no more posting. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the Belltown Hellcat driver, if he can stay away from driving that car. He needs to sell that car and move on with his life, but he's convinced that he's got a social media career driving his car around, upsetting people. Yeah, and $83,000 worth of fines later. Okay, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that one works out. All right, that's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll keep you posted on the Belltown Hellcat. Whatever, right? Okay, thanks again. We'll catch up with you on the next one. Bye for now.